Welcome to From Pumps to Power Moves. I'm your host, Claudia Williams. This is where we stop waiting for someday and start making intentional moves today. We're diving into the strategies that turn ambition into action and influence into impact. Whether you're climbing the ladder or building your own path, this is your space to step into what's next and own it. Hi. Welcome to my new and reinvented show. Maybe you are rejoining me from Leadership Backstage, or maybe this is the first time you're joining me for a podcast. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am and why the heck I'm doing this. I started down this podcast journey last year, and it was the first time I was venturing down this road. I was nervous, I was excited, and I found a partner to help me get this whole thing off the ground. And it went really well. And you can look up Leadership Backstage Podcast with Claudia Williams. I had phenomenal guests. I was having a blast and really was so uncomfortable in this space. And frankly, I still am. But I kept doing it. And like I said, everything was going really well. Like all things, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I hit a couple of bumps in the road with my production partners. And I had to make some changes. And change is difficult. I'm one of those people, as an executive coach, as a leadership strategist, business strategist, I am so good at being on the outside looking in. When it comes to my own work, I'm like my own worst client. So I had to take a step back and I had to take a break, and I had some choices to make, and I could choose to sit and fight and argue and have messy legal battles, or I could choose to go down a different path. And I chose to not spend my time fighting and arguing. And I chose to go down a different path, which is take the conversations, the amazing conversations I had with people that had yet to air, and rebrand, reinvent. And that's what I'm doing. And that's how Leadership Backstage turned into From Pumps to Power Moves. So how did I come up with From Pumps to Power Moves? Well, I was asked to deliver a keynote to a Business Women's Forum conference. And I sat back and I was thinking about, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? Here I am, a woman in my 50s, and the audience is professional women, mostly women, but yes, there are men who attend this conference. And I thought, okay, what am I going to talk about that's relevant, that's meaningful, that's important? There are a whole bunch of other specific professional development topics at this conference. And so in talking with the organizer, I said, what if we just go on a journey, a real life journey? And I can share examples and tell the story of my own career in a relevant and meaningful way. And I started in stilettos, in those pumps. And it became a journey of being the pleaser, the person who says yes to everything and is trying to figure everything out, to learning how to capture and be comfortable with my own power and what that means, and being really comfortable in my career and my knowledge and what I bring to the table, and commanding and demanding my seat at that table, and learning and thinking that maybe the things I thought were so certain at age 25, 30, 35, and now as a professional in my 50s, what, I look back on that period of time, those things are not so certain. And there were a lot of things to navigate, and a lot of mistakes to make, and a lot of relationships to build, and so many things to learn along the way. And so this podcast, much like Leadership Backstage, is about that journey. Not specifically my journey, but the journeys of the professionals who will be joining me on this podcast, and their different stories and their different journeys. Why does this matter? Why is this important? I'm talking to a lot of younger people today, people in their 20s, people in their 30s, trying to figure out what they're going to be when they grow up. And I still say, I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I'm enjoying the ride. I don't think younger people today are enjoying the ride as much as I did. I think there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of feeling like they should have this all figured out already. And I think that's a huge mistake. And if we can help business leaders be better leaders, if we can help people feel a little less alone out there, if we can help people understand that this is very much a journey and that it's okay to not know everything when you're 25, 30, 40, 50, that what matters is that we're present, we're enjoying the ride, we're open to learning, we understand failure is part of that ride. That's what this is all about. It's about how do we get up after we fall down? It's about, hey, you are not on an island. There are other people experiencing the same things you're experiencing. And guess what? They got through it. And here's how they got through it. And here's how we all can help each other. Here's what we've learned from all of these things. That's what this is all about. Why does anyone want to listen to me? Who cares, right? It's been a wild ride. I've had multiple careers over the course of my life. I started out as an assistant golf pro. I started playing golf when I was 10 years old. I'm the youngest of 4 daughters to a very traditional Italian American man who wanted nothing other than a son. And that's okay. After I was born, he nicknamed me Clyde after Clint Eastwood's pet orangutan in the movie Every Which Way But Loose. But I became that tomboy. I put waders on and went into the river and went fishing with my dad. And I was fortunate enough that he taught me how to play golf when I was 10 years old. I started competing when I was 11. I thought I was going to be a professional golfer. That's all I wanted to do. I would watch all the PGA and LPGA tournaments with my dad every weekend, and we'd sit there on Sunday evenings. And if you are my age, you remember that after golf, the wonderful world of Disney would come on television. Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom would be on. Those are the things I watched every Sunday with my dad. I played competitive golf in college at Penn State. After that, I became an assistant golf pro. I moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. It was awesome, and it sucked. And what I learned was that when golf, my favorite hobby, became my job, when it became work, it was no longer fun for me. And it was also wrapped up in a world that I didn't love for a lot of other reasons. And I'll talk about those as we go on this podcast journey. After that, I decided to go back to my original plan when I started school, which was I want to go to law school. So I went to law school and I became a lawyer. And initially, lawyering was fun. And eventually, lawyering became not fun. I took what I loved about being a lawyer, strategy, business, leadership conversations, working one-on-one with leaders. I took all of that and I started my own consulting practice. At this point, I'm in my 12th year. So I celebrated my 11th anniversary. I'm now in my 12th year of having my own business. And what a ride that has been. And the decisions I've had to make along the way for this. Do I get a job? Do I go down this path of a client who is considering wanting to bring me into their business full time? Oh my gosh, the being torn all along the way, decision after decision. In the end, I love what I do. I love the people I work with. I'm so fortunate. And I've had such great experiences and worked with so many different types of businesses, whether it's executive coaching and working with the CEOs, presidents, the C-suite leaders, whether it's working with groups and teams of directors in coaching, or developing specific and targeted leadership development programs, workshops, custom workshops, or public speaking engagements. The core foundations of my practice have brought me a lot of fulfillment. And I've been on this journey for 30 years, and I've fallen down many, many times. Every time I've gotten up, and like many of you, whenever I've gotten up, I've propelled higher than where I was at the point when I fell down. And that's what makes all of this worthwhile. Those are the things you're going to hear from my guests along the way. I'm really excited to bring this to you. I'm really grateful for the people who take time out of their busy days and work schedules and lives to have conversations with me. This is something I've thought about doing for a long time, and it's scary for me because I thrive on the live energy of being in a room with people. So the camera and the microphone piece of this really freaks me out. But if we don't try new things and put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, we don't grow. So this for me is pushing myself into an uncomfortable space. And I'm just going to keep pushing because I have to practice what I coach and encourage other people to do. So here I am. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for going on this journey with me. And I encourage you to please reach out to me. Ask me questions. Tell me what you are curious about. Reach out to me at claudia-williams.com. Reach out to me at claudiawilliams@humanzonebiz.com. Email me your questions. What would you like to hear about on this podcast? I will record solo episodes, so send me questions. I will answer them. Let me know what you want to talk about. Share the podcast if you think it's important to someone, if you hear something meaningful, and let me know what's on your mind. I look forward to connecting with you, to staying connected, and thanks for taking some time to go on this journey with me. Here we go. It's going to be a wild ride, much like life, much like careers, and let's just see where it takes us. You have the insight. The next move is yours, because influence without action doesn't create impact. If this was valuable, please give it a like, a follow, and share it with someone else doing the work. I'm Claudia Williams, and this is From Pumps to Power Moves. Now go take ownership of what's next.